Hey guys, it's Kaylee. I'm back with another story for you guys. This one took place, honestly, like years ago, like probably 2 years ago. So if you've already seen my Niall Horan and Harry Styles videos, those are current. So those happened, within the year. This story took place, I want to say, my junior year of high school. So, wow, that's like 3 years ago. That's crazy. Okay, regardless, so let's just say that this story took place junior year. I don't know, it doesn't matter. So, my best friend and I found out that One Direction was going to be performing on the X Factor US, okay? So, the X Factor is filmed at CBS Studios, which is not super far from my house. Like I said, I live in California, so it's pretty easy for me to just like go downtown. So my friend and I found out that they were going to be on the X Factor like a week or so before they were actually there. So we started talking to our parents because it was taking place on a school day. I don't remember exactly how we found out what time it was at. I think same thing. It was like through one of those free ticket websites that just told you what time to be there and whatnot. We didn't have tickets, but we thought, I don't know why we thought this, but for some reason we thought that we were just going to show up there and One Direction was just going to be walking around outside, taking pictures with people. Like, what? Yeah, okay. Junior year me, yeah, that good logic, solid logic. So anyway, we convinced our parents to let us skip school that day and drive downtown. Shout out to our parents for being awesome and just going along with all of these crazy, weird, random plans. So my friend had her license, drove us downtown. So we got there at like noon, just stood outside where we thought One Direction was just gonna casually walk out of. So we're standing outside this gate, and honestly, like 2 hours went by. I don't know what we did or how we kept ourselves occupied, but for some reason we just kept standing there thinking that Harry Styles was going to come out and like ask us to lunch. I don't know. After about 2 hours, some guy comes out of the gate and he's like, "Who are you waiting for?" And we're like, "One Direction." And he was like, "Oh, this is where we do Price is Right. X Factor is on the other side of the studio. But if you go, there's a parking structure right across from it, and if you go to the top, you can see inside the lot." And we're like, "Okay, thank you, kind gentleman, random stranger." I don't know why. This whole day is just funny now, because like, we're taking strangers' advice. Don't do that. We're skipping school to just, I don't know, who knows. So we take this random stranger's advice and find this parking structure at the very end of the studio. So this parking structure is, I want to say, like 10 stories high. So instead of going to like the 6th floor or the, 5th floor where you could see over the gate, there's huge fences, and they aren't see-through. They have that mesh netting because they don't want people like looking in. Obviously, it's like a big studio. Okay, so instead of going to the 6th or the 5th floor where we could easily see over, we decided to go all the way to the top. Literally, can't miss us. There's 3 of us standing at the very top of this parking structure. There's no roof, like you're literally on the top looking over, okay? Best decision we could have made that day, because as soon as we looked over, you can see like, those trailers and people just walking around doing things. And immediately we recognized figures, okay? This is gonna sound kind of maybe creepy, kind of stalkerish, whatever. We could start to tell like who was who based on what they were wearing, how they walked, who they were interacting with. That sounds so crazy and so weird, and I'm sorry, but 1D right here, let's go. So we are looking down at them. We recognize all 5 members. We can point them out just looking over the studio, and it's hilarious because at this point they're starting to bring in the audience for the show. But they have these shrubs up so the audience can't see what's happening. So literally me and my 2 friends are the only people that are witnessing this happening aside from people in the lot, okay? People that have a right to be there. Yeah, okay. So we're looking down, and it's so funny because we can see all of the boys interacting. And it's so funny because they had like golf carts and things, and they were like playing jokes on the audience. but the audience couldn't see them, so the audience had no idea who was messing with them or what they were doing. Like, I'm sure they could hear golf carts, loud things, but it was just funny to watch this happen. So anyway, we're watching all of this happen. We're all trying to figure out a game plan because at this point, this is as far as we got. What do you do? We can see all of them. There's no way they can't see us if they decide to look up at us. So we decide that we need to get them to look at us, okay? So before the show, I think there was like an hour before they started taping. An hour before they started taping, we can only assume they had to all go to hair and makeup to get ready. So hair and makeup, that little trailer was the closest thing to us. So each one individually, each boy individually, would get walked by security into hair and makeup. Let's just call it hair and makeup. We don't know what it was. We weren't in there. But they got walked into hair and makeup. And we decided, okay, we need them to look at us, obviously. Like, this is the chance. So as soon as they got, you know, the closest they were going to get to us, we started screaming out their names, okay? Takes them all, this is pretty universal for all of them. I'm not going to go over each interaction because it's pretty much the same. So they're obviously not expecting to see anyone or anyone to see them because, I'm not kidding, the fence is like 15 feet high. The fence around the studio is 15 feet high. So like, who would be seeing them? Who would be screaming at them? So they all pretty much stopped and just like looked around and were like, what's going on? And then they like just looked around, and then the parking structure at this point is straight in front of them. So they started out just looking straight and worked their way up till they saw us at the very top. Like I said, you couldn't miss us. We were at the very top. So they all did the same thing, took a second, realized that it was us yelling at them, waved at us. We all waved back at each other. We were all freaking out. And of course, we didn't think it was going to get any better. We were happy with, you know, Liam. And then one by one, they all did it, okay? So, Harry Styles was the only one that said something. So he just screamed like, hi, hey, back at us, and waved. Okay, so I have some photos of this day. Like, I have some photos of me and my friend before we left, me standing out front of the gate, and I have a video clip of Zayn when we said hi to Zayn. But like I said, you guys, okay, keep in mind, this footage, you're not going to be able to get anything out of this footage. We'll see if I even put it in.
Zayn!
Did you get it? Yeah. Like, literally, from where we were standing, they were small, okay? So keep in mind, when you add on the iPhone 3 quality that has now been transferred over to my, you know, laptop, like, okay, the quality's obviously terrible. We were all obviously freaking out, so I don't even remember, I wasn't recording, but someone of my friends was recording it, so it's obviously shaky. But, you know, it meant the world to us at the time, and we're like, oh, I have this memory forever. But obviously, it's not the best quality. I have some pictures looking over the studio that I might try to include here-ish. If I did it right, I'll have circled, you know, the person and try to maybe help you guys identify my sad pictures. But yeah, that was a really, really crazy experience. I think afterwards we just went and like had dinner at the mall. And, you know, obviously we thought this was the best day of our entire lives because we had the attention of each member of One Direction individually for what, 15 seconds? Like, wow. Oh my gosh, you guys. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Like, Los Angeles, I'm so lucky. I'm so lucky, you guys. Thanks for watching.